What's up, party people, and welcome back to my channel. So today is going to be a really fun, relaxed, chill spring get ready with me. This is my first spring makeup look. I recently asked you guys in a community post what kind of tutorials you want to see looks on, and I got so many unique, creative ideas that I would personally never think of because like vivid colors like this, like rainbows and brights, pastel kind of colors, stuff like that, that is not my forte. I feel like all I do though is smoky, bold, like dark, grungy kind of looks, either that or like rosy, mauve, pink looks. And I just want to kind of be different and just be unique and kind of step outside of my comfort zone. And one of you guys actually recommended pairing green and gold together, which as soon as I read that, my mind was like automatically blown, and that's why I'm sitting down and doing this video, because I was so inspired by that. So yeah, today I just kind of unwound and sat down and just went into this wanting to have fun and just play and be creative, and that's what I did. I had a lot of fun and I'm very, very happy with the outcome. So yeah, if you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure you give it a thumbs up and let me know. I really, really hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. And go ahead and subscribe to my channel and stick around and join my community because it's a great place, and then hit the notification bell so that you never miss an upload. And without further ado, if you want to see how I got the look that I'm wearing today, then please keep watching. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started, and I'm super, super excited. I have no inspiration pictures or anything. I'm just gonna try to wing it and just play in makeup. So last year, maybe even the year before that, I got the BH Cosmetics Weekend Festival palette and never used it. I maybe used one shade of it, just trying it out. But yeah, since it's spring, I really just want to create some kind of springy, fun, colorful kind of look. So we might be gravitating towards this a little bit today. And then also Perfusion just came out with their festival palette, but I would like to focus a lot in this just because it does have a lot of the same kind of colors as the BH Cosmetics palette has, but this one is a lot more on the new side. So the first thing I have is the Makeup Revolution Prom and Lock Eyeshadow Primer. This is an okay primer. I mean, you get a lot of product in here. This is like $9 at Ulta, but you have to apply it a very specific way because it's so watery and thin. If you apply too much, this will not blend out with your finger. So usually I recommend using a brush with this stuff, or you could just do like a very tiny dot on each eye. That's all it takes. Hopefully you could see, like, I was really working with it and really trying to blend it out. It took a very long time for it to actually set because it's so wet. But this is a decent primer. So yeah, that's one new product that we have. So I'm going to use my e.l.f. Line and Define eye tape today, just because when you're working with colorful eyeshadows, especially me because I'm not very good at blending anyway, I need a little bit of guidance. So I've been cutting them in half. I just go right on the L, and that kind of saves them for me. These are only $2 though, so I'm just being a cheapskate. I think I'm gonna start off with like a light blue and then graduate it to like a teal or like an emerald green kind of shadow. So I'm gonna go into the Festival palette from Perfusion, and I'm gonna take this matte Robin's Egg Blue right here and put that as my transition shadow. So I'm gonna take that on a Morphe M504 brush. So I'm not gonna set my primer down this time. I kind of let it dry a little bit to get kind of tacky, just because I really want to hold on to the pigment. This might not work out, but we're just playing. So I'm just gonna go right in the crease, and I'm gonna put this all in the crease from the inner to the outer corner, and I'm gonna bring it up pretty high too, to kind of give the look of more eyelid space. Okay, so this is working out really well. It is blending nicely. It's not overly pigmented to where it's a lot to work with at first, like when you first pick it up on your brush. Okay, so because there's not like one step up from that in the Festival palette, like the one step up from that one that we just used is this blue right here, and I just don't want to go that blue for this look. So I am going to go into the Weekend Festival palette from BH. I'm going to take this color right here, which is like maybe a shade or two up from this one that we have on right now. And a brand called Alter Ego sent me an eyeshadow palette that's a dead-on dupe for the Anastasia Sultry palette, and then also some brushes. So I will be talking about that palette in a future dupe video, like side by side. But I do want to use their brushes because I haven't talked about them on my channel at all, and I'm really bad at PR. I hate to admit that, but I kind of suck at PR. But I've really been enjoying this brush they sent me. I don't know what it's called. There's no labels or anything on them, but it's just a smaller crease brush. I'm going to use this to pack on that color in the outer V. So hopefully you can see how well it's blending out. It's super pigmented, but it's easy to work with. Like, it's not too hard if you're a beginner, I feel like. I'm just going to take this, like, with whatever's left over on my brush, like not getting any more product on it, and just kind of like flow it through the lower socket of the crease a little bit. I find that when I work slowly with this and look really close to a mirror, I can do that better. Like, if I go in and I'm just going in like fast windshield wiper motions, I find that it just never turns out the same. I'm just gonna go in with like one dab of that Robin's Egg Blue and just go right back over the crease and kind of mold these two shadows together a little bit better. So I'm gonna first go into the Prom and Base Cosmetics Thorn Single Eyeshadow, and this is just a really pretty matte emerald kind of color. Honestly, I think I'm just gonna use the same Alter Ego brush and just, if it's got a little excess, it's got a little excess. With shadows like this, you really have to work slow and be kind of leery of the pigmentation at first, and then you can build it up. It's a lot easier to build up than it is to take away too much. So I'm gonna start putting this right here in the outer V and just working it in the very outer socket. So with that second teal shade that we just got done using from the BH palette, I went all the way in with it as well, but with this one, we're just keeping it on the very outer V right here. So where I want it to be a little bit darker and more intense, I'm just gonna pat it on. So right here in the immediate outer V, and then with whatever's left over, kind of string it along that very outer socket. Okay, so I built up the green to about where I want it. So I'm gonna go back on that first brush that we used, that big fluffy brush with no product right now, and lift my brow up a little bit just to elongate the eyelid and blend in the crease. I'm not blending on top of the green, I'm blending right above it and fusing it into that Robin's Egg Blue. Actually, I lied, I'm gonna get a little bit of product on the brush. So I'm just gonna take that Robin's Egg Blue and very slowly place it where we first put it. So I think I'm gonna take the gold in the BH palette. This is called Euphoria. So I'm gonna take that on a flat brush, then I'm gonna spray it with a little bit of setting spray. I'm gonna bring it up to the lower socket of the crease to kind of make it look like a cut crease, but we're not gonna cut it out. I feel like that's just way too much work. So I'm just gonna keep building it up to where it's pretty true to tone. So I'm gonna take a clean brush. This is a Sigma E38 brush. It's called a diffused crease. And I'm just gonna go right on top of where the gold's meeting the light blue, just because I don't want it to be too shimmery there, and I want to clean it up a little bit. So something I think would be fun to do is take a lime green and fuse the gold into the teal and like the emerald green. So I'm gonna go into the BH Festival palette again. I'm gonna take this color right here, which is called Neon, and it's just like a shimmery light lime green, and we're gonna make this our fade shade. So that's what I like to do for like eyelid shades, to fuse them into the outer V shades if they don't fuse very well. So I'm just gonna lightly spray it, and I'm literally gonna go right on top of where the gold and the green meet. Okay, so I'm actually not gonna use it wet anymore, because I actually find that blending shimmers into mattes is easier when the shimmer's dry. So no more setting spray, just kind of working with it dry and fading it into that emerald green. If you find that you've lost a little bit of intensity with that emerald, you can just go back in and add some more if you want. I'm gonna pack a little bit more right here to make it more pigmented right in that area, and then softly feather it into the eyelid. Okay, so now that pretty much all the excess is off my brush, I don't want it to look too harsh right through there, like where the shimmer is coming up to the crease. So I'm gonna kind of hold it up here a little bit, because I don't want to blend into the eyelid shades. If you blend like this and you hold your brush downward, the bristles are gonna touch the eyelid shimmer. So I don't want that, because it's just gonna fluff it away. So I'm gonna hold it up like this a little bit, because it's gonna give us more precision and be like, it's gonna blend it upward and not downward. I just want it to knock off the shimmer that's in the crease that I don't want. And then taking that clean Sigma brush that we've been using just to blend, and going right above all of that, not in the crease. I'm actually keeping this more towards the brow bone. And bada boom, bada bing! I'm gonna go into my Too Faced I Love Candy palette and just take a mixture of the pink and the matte yellow in here and just put that on my brow bone. This is badass. I'm trying to decide if I want to put liner on, and also if I want to do false lashes. You guys know I rock the struggle bus when it comes to false lashes, but I also kind of want to get into wearing them. Everyone claims to not want to see falsies in every single tutorial, but also those get more views and they are more aesthetically pleasing. So I don't know. So I'm gonna curl my lashes, and I'm gonna apply mascara after I apply primer, because I think today I'm gonna use a powder foundation because it's something I've had for a while and I want to talk about it. So I haven't tried the powder foundation I'm gonna talk about today with this primer. I've usually only used it with like hydrating and glowy primers, and it doesn't wear the best on its own. Like, it's actually a pretty shiny powder foundation, or setting powder, however you want to use it. So I think I'm gonna try it with the Rimmel Stay Matte mattifying primer. Maybe where I actually do need to be mattified for this foundation, this will come in handy. And plus it sets really fast, and it's not gonna like, I wouldn't assume that it would give me any kind of drag or blending issues. I'm gonna do the CoverGirl Exhibitionist mascara. So I recently talked about this in my top 5 underrated makeup video. I wish I were one of those people that could rock just mascara and not have to worry about, eyeliner. I just feel like my eyes look weird without it. Like I've seen a lot of people just put mascara on and they can have like a full, like dramatic eye look and have just mascara and it looks fine on them. But for me, I just feel like my eyes look puny. And also I feel like my makeup just looks like it's worn off. So I do have a new concealer. This is the Milani Conceal and Perfect Longwear Concealer. I haven't really used this one a whole lot, so I don't know a whole lot about my thoughts on it. So I have the shade 115 Light Nude. So I'm gonna blend that out with the little mini blender from Sigma. So hopefully this primer doesn't affect the blendability, because primers like this that are very, very matte, I find are a little bit harder to work with when it comes to like liquids and stuff. So I'm having to push it a little bit more, like to apply a little bit more pressure to get it to blend out. Okay, I'm having a big issue right now. So I'm gonna use the Real Techniques 213 thing. These are brand new. I wanna get all of these. I love this for foundation. I've really been enjoying this one because it just gets in there. It's like very heavy duty. For powder foundation, I have the Physicians Formula, the Healthy Powder. So this is pretty brand new, but you can get full coverage out of this. Like I never use powder foundations or anything. I got this to use as a setting powder and I started using it under my eyes and I realized, oh my God, this has a lot of coverage. So I'm gonna try to blend it out with the Cokie 618 brush. This is a big old mamma jamma. Like she's a brick house. But this is not a super mattifying powder. Like I was saying earlier, this is actually a pretty shiny powder. So if you have dry skin, this would be amazing for you. It actually has a very, very, very fine micro shimmer when you look at it. You don't really see it on your skin or anything, but you can kind of see a slight sheen with it, which is crazy. And like, I'm all about that, especially because I don't like a very matte complexion. Like I like to be glowy and dewy and healthy, but I also have oily skin, so I do have to kind of fight it a little bit. So I can use this to set under my eyes and not have a problem, but if I use it around my T-zone, it doesn't hold up. I do get very, very shiny, but it's just such a beautiful, soft, blurring product. But like, look at this, like it's so flawless. And it's just a very breathable powder foundation, which I feel like is very, very rare. Actually, I forgot to set my under eye area first. Probably should have done that. So this is not really light enough. I kind of want something lighter to brighten everything up. So I think I'm gonna use my Cokie contour palette. This is the powder contour palette from Cokie Cosmetics. So I'm gonna take this yellow and mix it with this ivory kind of color. I don't think this is going to be light enough either, but again, just trying to use something that I haven't really shown a whole lot on my channel. And I actually have a coupon code with Cokie. I have a 20% off coupon code. If you're ever wondering, all of my affiliation, like links and coupon codes and everything like that is always in my description box. I keep it in every single video. So make sure that if you do want to check out Cokie, use that 25% off coupon code. I do get commission from it, so thank you if you decide to use it. For bronzer, I'm going to go into the Cokie Contour Palette once again. I'm going to take this middle shade at the bottom. If I weren't using a powder foundation, I would have totally used creams and liquids. I've been so into like stick bronzer, cream, or liquid highlighter. So I'm going to use a powder highlighter. And believe it or not, I'm kind of getting out of powder highlighter. I know, it finally happened. I mean, I've been rocking the Intense Blinding Highlight for such a long time. I never thought I would get to the point where I'd be tired of it, but it just emphasizes so much, and I feel like it just looks so outdated now. I don't know what kind of blush color to use. I kind of want to stick to the products that I haven't shown. So let's try the Perfusion 5-color face palette. I have used this before. Like I've tested it. I know my thoughts on it. So I think I'm gonna take this. Yeah, let's take this one. This is like the NARS Orgasm kind of thing. And I actually don't want to be too shimmery. So this is a lot of shimmer. Maybe I should just use a matte blush because I feel like there's a lot of shimmer and frostiness going on my eyelid, and I don't want it to look too old-fashioned, like 80s. I mean, I love the 80s, don't get me wrong, but they were a little crazy with the shimmer. Let's go in with the Sigma Corta Rosa Aura Powder. So this is just a blush. The shade's called Corta Rosa, so it's like a nude rosy mauve. I'm gonna go over that blush I just put down with my powder brush, just because, again, just too much shimmer. So I'm gonna start back here and hope for the best. Okay, so let's move on to the brow. So I do have this new brow mascara gel kind of thing. So this is the Milani Stay Put Brow Shaping Gel out of the shade Taupe. I've really been into just using something like this, putting it in first, brushing my hair up and then filling in just sparse areas because I have been trying to get my brows to be fuller and thicker. Like, my brows look pretty full without anything on them. Like, I'm pretty proud of my progress. They still look a little but we're getting there. So here's what the wand looks like. It's definitely more thick and fuller than the Benefit Gimme Brow. I would prefer it to be a little bit smaller just because it's a little thick. And my brows aren't even like super thin or sparse or anything, but it's a little thick for mine. So I'm just gonna comb through, and yeah, this just isn't giving me enough color. It's actually a very, very dry formula, and I just got this. It is hard to be precise with this as well. I'm kind of getting it everywhere because it's a little bit too thick. So I probably wouldn't recommend that one. I would like to try a darker shade. Maybe it would work better for me. So I'm gonna go in with my CoverGirl Ultrafine Brow Pencil in the shade Honey Brown. This is called like 2 or 3 different things. Like, I looked this up when I talked about this in my top 5 underrated video, and it doesn't even go by that, even though that's what it says on the tube. For my lower lash line, or for my waterline, I'm gonna actually use the Cokie Velvet Smooth Eyeliner in the shade Forest Green. So here's what these look like. This is super, super long wearing, and this is just a slightly shimmery, dark emerald teal kind of color, but it's not super shimmery. Like, it's not metallic or anything. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this in my waterline. Yeah, I definitely want to try more shades in that. That's really, really pretty and just glides on, no tugging, and it's not something I have to go back and forth with like 22 times. So I do want to do something a little bit different for the lower lash line. I pretty much want to do the same order that I did on the top, but I do want to throw in a yellow as like a little like halo. This may turn out horrible, but we're gonna try it. So I'm gonna try this Morphe M562 brush. I've used it before. It's very long though, and it's kind of hard to control. So I'm gonna take the matte yellow in the Festival palette. Another reason I want to get this palette, because I did find this at Walmart. It was only like $10 or so, but I was actually trying to find an alternative to the James Charles palette because I did return that one, and this one seemed to have pretty similar shades to it, or like a similar vibe. So if you're someone like me that either doesn't like the James Charles palette or just doesn't like James Charles, then you should definitely check this one out. This may make me look like I'm sick. It's getting all over my nose. Ugh. And I'm gonna go into the Robin's Egg Blue, that first transition shade we have. Oh no, it's mixing with the yellow and making green. Yeah, I don't like this brush. I wouldn't recommend this. Let's go in with a denser pencil brush and just bada boom, bada bing, right along the lower lash line. Okay, so now I go in with that second teal shade that we used in the crease from the BH palette, and then I'm just gonna stamp this on close to the waterline, like right at the root. And I'm gonna take that same little definer brush I just used, and I'm gonna go into the emerald teal now, and we're gonna put this just on the outer third lower lash line. So just gonna stamp it right here. You could also use this to set your waterline eyeliner if you wanted to, because it's a very similar color. Okay, and then once again, go back in with that little pencil brush that we used and blending underneath all of that. So that yellow basically did nothing, so just don't worry about doing that. And then for my inner corner, I'm gonna go into, let's mix Trixie and Magical from the BH palette. They're both shimmery, like champagne-y kind of tones. And just brighten this up a little bit. Yeah, I like that mixture. I'm trying to get more of the lighter one in there though, just so it's more brightening. But whenever I do my inner corner highlight, I always like to kind of string it up into the eyelid shade a little bit, just because I don't want the eyelid shades to stop and then another little dot of a different color right there. So I always kind of fuse it up into the eyelid right there. It's very subtle, but it just kind of halos everything together. Okay, so now I'm gonna go into a powder highlighter, and I haven't even used this one yet because I haven't used any powder highlighter in weeks. So this is the new Wet n Wild Megaglo Loose Highlighting Powder in the shade I'm So Lit. I love Wet n Wild highlighters. Let's go ahead and swatch it. It looks very finely milled. Like, it almost, oh my god, that's crazy. So yeah, this is gonna be blinding. I can already tell you that. Oh, so pretty though. I mean, I will say it's not as intense as what I thought it would be. Maybe I tapped off too much of the excess. But okay, it's a little white. This look better without highlighter. What? And then I'm just gonna go right here. I'm not gonna go down the entire landing strip. I'm just gonna go right here and then just a little bit on my tip, just like that. And I've also been enjoying, like, instead of applying it downward like this, just because you have a tendency to go down too far, I've just been applying it horizontally just where I need it. So it kind of gives you that slenderized effect and that illusion still, but you're not putting it in too many places. So I'm gonna go back over my nose, like the sides of it, with my bronzer brush, and then also right around through here. I'm looking, oh my God. Oh, this isn't me anymore. I'm gonna go in and tone it down with my blush brush. And I'm just gonna kind of meld the highlighter and the blush together and kind of knock away a lot of the frost. That's a very frosty highlighter, actually. I'm kind of shocked. So I also have the Makeup Revolution fixing spray. This is the green tea fixing spray. They have several of these. I think they're just different scents. I don't think any of them do anything different from one another, but I'm gonna go ahead and spray this all over my face and help with all the powder. Oh. But this one is definitely more of like a hydrating spray. It's kind of like the MAC Fix Plus. I think that's what they're trying to be like. It's definitely more of like a refreshing kind of thing, like a revitalizing step. But I am going to go ahead and go off camera and apply some falsies because I know that it's going to take me probably like 2 to 5 years. But I talked about these before, but I didn't actually use them. So these are the Dahlia Cosmetics and V&A Strict collaboration falsies. And when I first talked about these, I only talked about one because I forgot that there were two. So one pair is in the shade V&A. So they're so pretty. Like, I'm not even into like false lashes or anything, but they just look so nice. And then she also have the Princessa ones, a little bit more long, and I could see these being a little bit more dramatic. But yeah, they look very high quality. Okay, who is this? These false lashes are, I don't even say this, they're everything. These are so pretty and full, and it looks like you have eyeliner on when you don't. And they have a really nice curve to them, so they really hug the lash line really well. A lot of times when you're applying false lashes, you have to kind of bend them and keep them in a good like rounded shape to actually fit on the eyelid well, and these are already like automatically like that, and they're so wispy and full and voluminous. And I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but these are actually $15 and you can get multiple wears out of them, so I feel like that's a pretty dang good deal. But just to go over what I did on my lips, because I had the hardest time trying to find something that would pair well with this eye combination. What matches yellows and greens? I don't know. I used the Dahlia and V&A Strict lip liner in the shade 24, which is just a really pretty kind of like, it's like a mauve-y, deep brownish coral. I don't know how to describe it, but it goes really well with coral shades or any kind of orange, or just lipsticks that are kind of hard to find lip liners to pair with. So I really like that one. And then I used a Dear Dahlia lipstick in the shade 808 Megan. This is the Lip Paradise Intense Satin. So pretty, and this is such a pretty like spring nude. I just feel like it's a really cool play on a neutral lip color. But I also topped this off with the Cokie Cosmetics Lip Veneer Cream Gloss in the shade, oh crap, these are the ones that don't have shades on them, I think. Well, piss. Okay, there is a number on here, so if you look at the barcode, the number is VC852. So that's what I'm wearing. As far as the powder foundation goes, yes, it definitely is a more glowy, like hydrating powder, but I would steer away from it if you have mature skin and you have a lot of fine lines and wrinkles, just because it is starting to kind of settle in a couple of my fine lines, and I don't even have intense fine lines. Like, it usually doesn't even show up with makeup on. Yeah, I'm starting to see a little bit of settling and just kind of like almost cracking in a way. Like, it just looks like my skin's kind of old in certain spots. So this is actually 3 or 4 hours after I got done filming the first part of the video. I just want to get on here and show you guys what it looks like after only a few hours of wear. But I do feel like it actually looks pretty good right now. I feel like it looks better now than it did before when I had just put it on. Now I feel like it looks more like a liquid foundation, and it looks a lot more breathable and dewy and glowy. And I feel like right now we're at a sweet spot, but I feel like it's about to go downhill. So I am starting to get some oil right through here in the crevices of my nose, and typically I don't get super shiny throughout the day with makeup on. I do have an oily T-zone, but I just don't get super greasy or anything. I'm pretty normalized and balanced for the most part. But yeah, I feel like the mattifying primer may be helping a little bit, but it's definitely, it's coming. And keep in mind, I use a mattifying primer, and I really thought that would completely get rid of the shiny issue, but it didn't. But if you guys like videos like this, please let me know. I will definitely do them more, and this is my first spring makeup look, so I hope you guys decide to recreate it, and if you do, make sure you tag me wherever you post it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and again, make sure you give this video a big old thumbs up if you enjoyed it and want to see more like it. Subscribe to my channel and stick around, and then hit the notification bell so that you never miss an upload, and I will see you guys in the next one. Mwah.